I had a boss. His name was Christopher Maluki Lati. He used to treat me as a son or a nephew. Before he came to head our office, Rift Valley, he was the head of the external intelligence in Kenya. I can call him a diplomatic intelligence officer. His administration, if you ask me, is the best. He was so close to me that there was even a time when there was a rumor in the office that I used to monitor our other intelligence officers and report to him. But not even once did that happen. What they used to do is that I used to spend a lot of time in his office. And he proved to me something which I'll tell you in detail, that most of our problems are known and can be solved by anybody. For example, issues that are being solved by a regional commissioner can even be handled by a chief. It's only that we want somebody of that rank and whatever. We all have the same brains and whatever. And then the other thing that I want us to learn today is that we have the same we have the same solutions. A good idea is shared by most of the people. You'll find a lot of people having the same idea of solving the same problem. But here is the problem, especially we Kenyans. You find that we want to spend this thing that they call public participation. It's good. Even from this recording, you'll find that I am for the public participation. But when we go to the public participation, if so and so, if you introduced a topic that even I was planning, I will just counter it, not because it is a good or bad idea, but it is because you are the initiator. And if I were the one who would have said the very, very same thing before you had said, you would also be against it for the very, very same reasons. That is how Kenya is. Mr. Christopher Maluki Lati would call me from my office. I would go to his office, and there's no even single time he would tell me Mr. So-and-so and Mr. He used to tell me that there is a problem here. He could even tell me a problem where he would tell me that the people concerned are SSPs. Now imagine, this is a deputy commissioner of police. His deputy is a senior assistant. We have 2 assistant commissioners and so many SSPs, about 6 to 8, both in the field and at the headquarters. But he would call me the youngest officer, the smallest officer in age and rank, even though I was an inspector. But I was in discipline forces. We go by the time you are appointed. I think there are those inspectors who have my rank who became inspectors when I was still in secondary school. And here I was, I went and even, so even in the rank-wise, I was the smallest. He would come, we sit down, he tells me that there is a problem between 2 SSPs, but he would never tell me who they are. Say SSP A is this and this, and SSP B is this and this. How do you feel about it? And I would tell him about my feelings. He would then give me a paper to write my decision, and I would write. There are even occasions where he had issues that he would bring to the room number 15. Room number 15 was a conference room where all the desk officers, imagine Rift Valley, we had 13 districts, and we had 8 to 10 desk officers. So this is a place where we could sit round the table, all that number without squeezing. But the 13 district bosses, of course, were based out of the province. So we used to have just the desk officers and the Nakuru boss for the morning call-up, for the provincial morning call-up. So he would tell me a problem, then we would... he never used to tell me his side. You know, in a disciplined service, when your boss says something, even if it's wrong, you say, in fact, what you're saying is right, and you'll follow that. He used to ask me that there is this and that problem. Supposing you are the provincial security intelligence officer, what would be your decision? And I would tell him. Then he would ask me, why and how did you come to that conclusion? Then I would tell him, and then he would give me full scaps and tell me, can you write that down? Your decision and how and why you came to that. One big lesson he taught me, that answers do not come from the boss. It comes from you, the people. We could discuss something, we could come to a conclusion, we could even write it, and he would even carry to that room 15 those decisions that we had both agreed on. And then he would bring the topic. He would tell the people this and this and this, and what do you think should happen? And people would debate, people would do whatever, and he would appoint somebody else to take notes. After taking notes, he would write, suggestion is this, suggestion is that. Then people talk, and then he would ask the person who's taking minutes. He would ask everybody, what have we agreed? Then we would have said, we have agreed A, B, C, D. And he would tell the person who is taking notes to take, all the whatever was happening, to put it in written, saying that a decision was brought in by the PSIO, Provincial Security Intelligence Officer, which was this and this. And some people felt that to answer that question, we have to do this. Others felt that to answer the same question, we have to do alternatively A, B, C, D. At the end of the day, we all unanimously, or through a majority feeling in the room, we felt that this and this is the answer. And then they would give the boss, and the boss would say, you have advised me to pursue this case, and I followed what you have said. You'll find that when you do that, you make the people feel they own the report. Remember, you have not told them your feeling, but they have told you this and this and this is what is going to happen. And then you say, since that is what you have said, I will follow that. People usually feel that this is a good leader because he's doing what we told him to do. But is he doing what you told him to do? Let me tell you the scenario, because I was that close to Mr. Christopher Malukilati. What used to happen was this. Over 80% of what we agreed with him, the two of us, said this is the solution, this whatever, used to happen. 20% used to not happen. So you find that when it comes to decision, he would tell you that I don't agree with this. And then out of the 20%, he would incorporate his 10% and your 10%. What does that come to? It comes to 160%. Or is it 180? Because according to him, 90%, yeah, that is 180%. 90% of what he planned to do, he did it. And according to you people in the plenary hall in room number 15, is that 90% of what you wanted, you got. You only allowed him to put there his 10%. It's a win-win solution. That is why in diplomacy, in the long run, especially for people with average and above average education, you find that diplomacy And everything you plan, everything you do what as a boss, boss, you are just installed there, but most of the thinkings are with a lot of people. These people are just like you, and what you plan, what the decisions you make is the decision that they make. Only difference is that, as I've shown above, is that Maluki Lati got 90% of what he pursued, but made the people really supportive. Supposing he would have come with his decision, with his lineup, and said this A, B, C, D up to Z. Remember, the plenary do not support 10% of what he will have come up, isn't it? Assuming that whatever he wanted, we just placed there the 100%. They'll say he's dictatorial, he decides things for others, he does not consult. They'll reject the whole thing. And in reality, if given a time, they would support 90% of what was there. So you can see how he cleverly used to manage through that. Thank you.